So holiday season is basically here, and now more than ever it is the best time to buy, well, basically anything gaming related, and especially consoles. And if you're here, I'm pretty sure that you're eyeing the cheapest one of the new generation of the consoles, Xbox Series S. It costs the least of this generation consoles, cheaper than PS5, cheaper than Xbox Series X, and at first glance it's a very good bargain to buy. And in this video I'm going to be reviewing actually what it's like to own an Xbox Series S, and mainly I will be answering the main questions and concerns that you will have while choosing this console, or while maybe not choosing it as well. So without further ado, let's just get it started. And as always, as with every single one of my videos, I'm going to be giving you the answer right away to not waste your time, and just to maybe give you the answer in as short time as possible. And the answer is this: yes, Xbox Series S is pretty much worth it, and it's an amazing console for its price, but it has its downfalls. And to be fair, it's the amazing console for most of the casual gamers, but it might be a little bit of a, well, downgrade for the hardcore and very serious gamers. But for the reasons why, let's discuss that. And if you like gaming related videos that do not waste your time, well, you know what to do. Hit the beautiful subscribe button. Now, Xbox Series S. So while buying this console, you might be looking into few different things that is different from all the other consoles. First, and probably most important for you, will be the price. It is the cheapest one and it costs around $300, and most likely you will be able to find it for even less than that, which makes it a little more than a half of the price of its bigger brother consoles. A second is the size of the console itself. The console is small compared to Series X or PS5. It is much smaller and very portable, which is very great. The next thing that you will look into is probably its hard drive size, which is only 512 gigs, and it is the only configuration that you can buy this console with. And yes, it might be an issue, and we will discuss that in this video as well. But now to the main question: is it actually powerful enough to get called as next generation console? Well, to be fair, it's not as powerful as its bigger brothers. That's for sure. This is not a 4K console, even though it can run some games in 4K. This is more like a 1440p console, but in reality you should actually look at this as more as 1080p console, because in many games you will be switching between 1080p to 1440p based on what frame rate you want to get. Yes, you can play a lot of games on 60 FPS, and to be fair, majority of the games you can play in 60 FPS, and even some games can be played at 120 FPS, but you will still encounter games here and there that can only be played at 30 FPS. And that's usually because of the poor optimization, because yes, some developers do not want to optimize the game for the weaker consoles. So depending on what games you play, you might want to look into this and see what frame rate the Xbox Series S is running them. Majority of the multiplayer games are running either in 60 FPS or 120 FPS, but some single player games are actually running in 30 FPS. And thankfully, in a lot of them you can actually switch between 30 and 60. Like for example, in Forza Horizon 5, you can run either in 4040p 30 FPS, or you can run at 1080p 60. And trust me, 1080 60 looks pretty cool there as well. So if anyone will tell you that this is a 4K console, it's not. It's not a 4K console. It runs menus and dashboard in 4K, but that's basically it. Next thing that you might want to look into is the storage, because yeah, storage is an issue if you want to have a lot of games present all at once. So you have only 512 gigs, and it's a very fast 512 gigs, and this game supports quick resume for multiple different games, and I've only checked for up to 5 games. I'm not sure if you can do with more games, but if you can turn 5 different games at the same time and switch between them without ever reloading or saving, it will continue exactly the same spot where you left, which is insanely cool. But what about storage expandability? Can you expand the storage? Yes, but there are caveats here. You can actually add external hard drive, you can add external SSD, or you can add an Xbox storage expansion cards. But they do not work in the same way. The only thing that will emulate exactly the same way as an Xbox internal storage will be the Xbox expansion cards. You won't even have a special slot on the back of the console for it. But what's the catch? It's extremely expensive. And basically it will cost you as much as the console itself to double the storage, which is outrageous in my opinion. But what about hard disks and SSDs? You actually cannot play the next-gen games from those storage devices. You can store games there, but if you want to play from them, you actually need to transfer games from storage device to internal device and then play it from there. However, you can play older generation games like Xbox One games or 360 games from there, which is still pretty cool. But I would not suggest to use hard disks and use SSDs because, yeah, hard disks are extremely slow even for the transfer between the console and disk drive itself. And because the game does not have an optical disk drive, yeah, the storage can be an issue. But here might be a question. So this console is weaker than Xbox Series X, it has less storage, and only thing that is good for it is because of its price and because of its size. Why would even Xbox release such console? Well, the answer is obvious. Game Pass. The Xbox Series S is an easiest way to game to a Game Pass. You don't need a disk drive for a Game Pass, and if you have an access to a Game Pass, most likely you have an access to the more or less good internet to just download and delete games at your own will. Plus, I'm not sure if they're optimizing the Game Pass games specifically for Series S, but I still yet have to see the games that do not run well on Xbox Series S that are available on the Game Pass. So overall, is it a good console to buy right now if you're tight on a budget? And the answer is absolutely yes. Unless you are a very hardcore gamer that wants a ton of games available all at once, and unless 4K is extremely important for you, I would say the Xbox Series S is probably the best console that you can get to get into the next generation of consoles. It's fast and convenient because of its quick resume feature. It's very small and it can fit basically in any place that you want. It can run exactly the same games as Xbox Series X, though a little worse, but it still can run them. And it costs much less than them. What's not to love there? I own Xbox Series S for a year now, and I cannot be happier by my purchase, and I even made all of my friends buy this console because it's so good. So if you're seeing a good discount for this console, and most likely you will, go and get it. You will not regret it. Well, I guess this will be it for today. Thank you for being here with me. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.